You see, most of us have been totally conditioned to view success as something loud and visible. You know, the luxury cars, the exotic vacations, the designer clothes. But today, we're going to contrast that exhausting performance of success with the quiet, mathematically superior reality of building actual wealth. We're going to strip away the illusion and look at the invisible path that truly creates financial freedom. Think back to your childhood kitchen table for a second, because that is exactly where our financial operating systems are built. For some kids, money was basically talked about like the weather. It was this uncontrollable force that just happened to you, and you strictly relied on your instincts to survive the storm. But across town, another kid received a map. They were taught a single unshakable rule. Assets put money in your pocket, and liabilities take it out. One kid grows up just reacting to life. The other grows up navigating it. To really wrap our heads around how these two totally different mindsets play out, we're going to track a chronological tale of two paths. We'll follow a timeline through three critical life milestones, starting at age 22, checking in at age 34, and finally seeing the ultimate divergence at age 40. Let's see exactly where these roads split. Okay, milestone 1, age 22, the invisible fork in the road. At 22, you face a fork in the road that really doesn't feel like a life-altering choice. Honestly, it usually just looks like a standard entry-level job offer. But here is where the paths officially divide. You can choose path A and become a career strategist. Maybe it's a commission-based role that your friends call a massive gamble. You might face 37 brutal rejections a day. But here's the secret. You treat those no's as data to fix your script. Or you choose path B, the quote-unquote safe job. You become an operations coordinator. Sure, it's stable, but think about that 2.8% annual raise. When you factor in inflation, that safe raise means you are literally just standing still. Fast forward a bit, age 34, the illusion of wealth. So you've spent a dozen years on that safe path, and it feels like you've arrived. On paper, you are absolutely crushing it. You're making $250,000 a year. I mean, think about that number. In your parents' house growing up, $250,000 meant you were completely set for life. You've got the $4,800 luxury apartment, you've got the leased Audi in the garage. It is a massive success, right? But let's pump the brakes and actually look at the invisible math beneath that lifestyle. After taxes in a high cost of living city like New York or LA, that massive salary violently shrinks. It comes down to just $13,000 a month of actual take-home pay, which, yeah, still sounds like a lot until you start living the lifestyle expected of someone making that much. And this brilliantly illustrates the trap. By the time you pay for the visible performance of your success, the updated wardrobe, the $300 dinners with your peers, the aspirational travel just to keep up appearances, your actual monthly buffer, the real money left over to build wealth, is a shocking $113. You are pulling in $250,000 a year, and you literally have $100 left at the end of the month. The financial industry actually has a specific term for this phenomenon. It's called the mass affluent trap. It's characterized by a really high income, but an incredibly low net worth. You aren't building a mountain of wealth here. You have simply become the highest paid person on a ridiculously expensive hamster wheel. And if that wheel stops, the entire lifestyle instantly collapses. Now, let's rewind. Ages 24 to 34, the silent builder. During that exact same decade, the person who chose Path A is operating in a completely different universe. While friends on Path B were loudly announcing their Mexico vacations on social media, the silent builder just completely stopped performing success at age 24. They quietly automated $400 a month into a super boring index fund. And I really want to pause here, because this choice carries a heavy social cost. Friendships absolutely cool off when you're the one skipping the $80 dinners. People might honestly think you're failing, but the builder embraces that silence because they know the ultimate truth. Real wealth is invisible by definition. Real wealth is the cars you don't buy and the first-class seats you don't book. Which brings us to the underlying mechanics, the math of time and architecture. So how exactly does this quiet approach win out? The silent builder relies on two crucial mechanics that just completely change the game. First is the sheer power of Rule 5. Time is the multiplier. Check this out. If you start at age 22 and invest just $500 a month, you are sitting on nearly $3 million by age 62. But if you spend a decade performing success and wait until age 32 to start, that final number drops to 1.1 million. Think about what that actually means. A single decade of delaying for the sake of looking rich literally penalizes you $1.8 million. You simply cannot out-earn lost time. The second mechanic is a profound mindset shift regarding taxes. While the mass affluent earner views the tax code as this painful fixed subtraction from their paycheck every 2 weeks, the silent builder views it as architecture. They see the tax code as a love letter to investors, a powerful, entirely legal tool designed to help you defer, deduct, and continuously build equity, while everyone else is just trading their finite hours for dollars. All right. The divergence. Let's jump back to our timeline and look at the brutal reality of these choices when both individuals reach milestone 3, age 40. By 40, the divergence is absolute. The mass affluent earner, despite their massive salary, reaches age 40 with a super fragile net worth of just $16,000. And, probably a premium wine subscription they just keep forgetting to cancel. But over on the right, the silent builder has quietly amassed a net worth of $920,000, nearly $1 million. But way more importantly than the money, they have ultimate optionality. If they want to just walk away, they can. And that brings us to the core definition of what we are really talking about here today. The crucial point is this. True freedom isn't about being famous, and it's certainly not about looking rich to a bunch of strangers. Freedom is the quiet, profound ability to walk into any room, face any emergency, or consider any major life change and simply not have to do the math. When you see this stark mathematical reality laid out like this, you really have to ask yourself right now, are you living an actual life, or are you just heavily funding the performance of one? Are your daily choices putting money in your pocket, or are they just feeding a hamster wheel of liabilities designed to impress people you don't even really like? The choice of which path to take is 100% yours. But if there's one thing you take away from this explainer today, remember this. To truly build wealth, you have to be willing to build in silence. The compounding machine of time and equity does not care if you announce your progress to the world. It doesn't care about your Audi or your fancy luxury apartment. It only cares if you show up consistently, day after day. So, what's it going to be? The loud illusion of success or the quiet power of real wealth?